Hi everyone, it's Julie here from Sparklettes Art. I am here today to teach you how to have fun using crayons to create a really fun graffiti look. Now I'm doing hearts for Valentine's Day, but you can create whatever you would like so long as you use the same pattern. Now I'm using a different kind of crayon today and they're called construction paper crayons. They look like this. So they have a different wrapper and they might come in a box like this. These are bold and bright. There's more of them, or the box might have the dark yellow that you see with Crayola, and there might be less colors. Now, if you don't have these crayons, you can use regular crayons. You're just going to want to swatch them first. What does that mean? You're going to want to flip over your paper and you're going to want to test out which ones show up and which one doesn't. So if you have regular crayons, take a black piece of paper, create some swatches, stick the ones aside, the ones that work and look the prettiest on your paper, and then you can just use those. If you have the construction paper crayons, all of them will work. You don't need to do that, but you can do this with crayons. You can also do this with oil pastels if you'd like, but that's the only thing we're going to need. Black paper, crayons, construction paper crayons, or oil pastels, and we're gonna get started. Ready? Let's go. So hopefully you have taken your crayons and you've made a swatch to see which ones work. And all you're gonna wanna do if you haven't is just take one and just kind of color over the back side of your paper to see if it's going to be a good fit. This way you're not actually doing it on the paper that you're going to be using, but on the back where no one is going to see. The first thing we're going to do after that is we're going to create our hearts. Now you can do these in any color order. I love the look of all of the colors, and if you don't know what color it's going to come out when you color, you can kind of guess. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a heart, and you want to change the sizes here. So if you draw some big, you want to make sure that your next one is small. So here's an orange that I'm just going to go ahead and put right in the center. I'm going to take this next one. This looks like it's going to be darker, closer to red. So I'm going to move it this way. But there's no right or wrong way to do your hearts. You can do them big. You don't have to do them in any specific direction. One way to make it easier for you to draw your hearts is by changing the paper. So if it's hard to draw a heart on its side, make sure you rotate your paper so it makes it a lot easier. I already used these two, so I'm just setting them aside. I have a yellow. I'm gonna maybe draw a little tiny one here with my yellow. You can also choose a color scheme here, like warm colors or cool colors. I think I'm going to do something a little different. So I have the rainbow colors here. I think I'm going to choose warm colors. That means I might switch up my colors a little bit. I drew yellow here. Let's see what happens if I draw yellow over here. So if I'm using warm colors, I'm going to get out reds. I'm going to get out oranges. I'm going to try not to shake the camera here. Might even get out, let's see, this one. Put it over here. And since I have abandoned my rainbow, and if you are still working on a rainbow, please feel free. But what I am doing is making them kind of go down in a wavy format. So I'm keeping them away from each other, but close enough, and I'm looking to see if I drew a line, where would my hearts go? I think I'm gonna draw another one over here with this color, making it a little smaller. Then I think I'm gonna get this one back, which I really like this color. So I'm gonna add another one here, and I want the eye to go this way next. So I'm gonna add and I'm keeping them out so I don't lose the colors that I've used. I don't think I've tried this one yet. So let's see about this one. That's a really fun color. And maybe I'll use it down here. So I have this, it's coming around here. I think I'm gonna draw one more, make it look like it's almost going to touch the page. And then my colors are going to come back. And I was thinking maybe I should add just one purple in here. See, there's no rules here, it's just whatever you'd like. But I'm thinking here's my line and I want it to come back this way. So I'm gonna draw a big one right here. It's starting to come backwards or come back to center. Now, since I added this color, I should probably add it somewhere else. So if it looks like I don't have enough room, another thing I can do is just make sure I add the color, but a really small one. And I could also add one right up here. Oh, I'm really loving these colors today. Okay, I think I'm gonna stick with my colors. I have this line of hearts that goes this way. Let's bring it around this way and off the page. So I'm gonna look for the colors that I already have, ones that I need to use. Let's see, I wanna put it here, but I really want it to look like my hearts are going this way. So the next one's going to come over here. So we're directing the eye. Where do you want the eye to go? We want the eye to follow these hearts. It's called movement and rhythm. So how are these all showing up together? I think the next one I need here might be this color. And maybe I'll do a smaller one. Add a little tiny yellow. I think I really like these little tiny yellows. I think I might add another tiny yellow here. Again, no rules, just what looks nice to you. And let's see. Uh-oh, I overlapped. That's okay. That's kind of a fun touch that I overlapped one. Do I have a nice selection of hearts? I do. I'm gonna come up and add another one up here. Maybe add a little tiny one there. I can add a little tiny one if I wanna kind of fill a little bit more of the space. But I have a nice movement of my hearts, and that's when I'm going to get out my white. So my white crayon, I'm going to use to draw an outline around each heart. Now notice I'm going to bump into the hearts, and that's okay. I'm just going to pretend I'm drawing it. When I run into a line, I'm going to stop. So here's my heart. Oh, I barely have room for this one, so I'll do what I can. I'm going around this one, around this one. Again, I keep running out of room. I'm gonna bump into that line. That's okay. Whatever lines I bump into is okay. If I don't do them straight, that's also okay. When you're looking at graffiti, it's not perfect. You're using spray paint a lot of the time, so those colors can go in unexpected directions, and so can ours. Now, as you're finishing your white, think about another color. You're going to add 2 more outlines to your hearts. They can be the same colors you've been using or something completely different. So if you have another color that you thought you were going to add and you didn't, this is a different purple, you can add it. Now you're going to run into more lines, but I'm going to go around this one. I'm going to just hit, bump, go around. This one, I'm going to come here and bump. See what you can do about outlining. This one I can't outline at all because it's kind of stuck in there. That one I'll come around. Come around. This one I can do the bottom and barely the top. This one I can do the top but not the bottom. So I'm just going around adding another outline around these hearts. can change up the colors here and do something with icy, frosty colors too. So lots of options here. Not sure I like this purple, so I'm thinking as I'm creating these lines, when I don't like a color that I chose, how can I make it something that I like a little better? Well, I'm going to bring out one of my favorite colors of crayons, and that's this one. And I'm going to add my third line with this color. I think it's going to be exactly what I need to get back on track. I don't have much room at all anymore here. So I'm just adding whatever lines I can get, kind of doing them parallel. They are not perfect. Oops, I can add one here. I can add one here, here. Again, I can't get these small ones because they're kind of in the middle here. This side. Oh, I forgot the purple there. That's okay. I'm just going to keep going. It's okay if you forget a line or you get one that's wobbly. I definitely like that a lot better. That is exactly what I needed. Now, I am going to go back in with my white. So grab that white and we're going to add some white to whatever side of the heart you want. So whatever side you pick the same side. So I'm going to pick the right side. So I'm just going to add a little bit of white on the right side of every heart. This is kind of giving it a little bit of a highlight. Depending on the color you use, it might show up more, it might show up not much at all. So just get it all in there. Sometimes you might not notice the highlight, but when the light is a little bit different, that's when you'll notice. So keep going. This one, let's see, I don't know if I got that one. Have all these really pretty highlights. Now we're going to do the same thing. I want you to grab a dark gray. If you have, let me see if I can find, or a light gray, either or. I think for the construction paper crayons, they look like this. And there's one that's a little bit darker that came with that other set. So whatever one you have, you can also choose to use a black. If you have a black crayon, that works great. I'll use black just so I can show you, but we're going to do it on the other side. So this time, go lighter just in case you don't want to get your color all dark, but you're adding a little bit of a shadow to that other side. Just a little bit of black or that dark gray. This is providing a subtle contrast. That means you might not notice it. It might not look like you're doing anything, but when you're looking at the whole thing put together, you're going to notice. You're going to notice these little tiny things that are going to make it look even better, more like these hearts were painted on. They're popping. I'm just scribbling. Notice how I'm not doing perfect black lines. I'm just adding a little bit of shadow. Now, there's one last thing I'd like you to do, and that is we're going to add our bricks. Now, I want you to grab a gray. Go for a light gray. I'm going to use this one right here. A regular gray will show up perfectly. And what we're going to do is we are going to not draw it with the pointy end. We're going to lay it slightly on its side. And we're going to draw some lines that are going to just look like a wall. So not perfect, so we don't need to go all the way to the edge. We're going to draw them. See how they're not perfect? I'm not drawing to the edge. I'm just giving somewhat of a wall. And then we're going to add and make it look like there's bricks. Now, instead of drawing a line from top to bottom, when we draw, we're going to add a line that comes down and a line that comes up. Line that comes down, pick a place for the line to go up. Line can come down over here, up over here, down over here, up over here, down over here. This is making it look like our wall is a lot older. And then with that same crayon, I want you to shade in just a little bit of whatever area of the brick you like. So every time there's a brick, here I shaded the bottom right, here I shaded the top left, I'm gonna go top right, I'm gonna go bottom left. We're adding some look, some texture, making it look like there's, oops, I probably should, let's see. Make a line go down, line on its side. You want a soft color here. And you have your wall. Now, one thing you can do when you get to this point, if there's another color that you like, you could add it. So I'm gonna use this color here and I'm gonna lie it on its side. And I'm gonna just kind of go over the wall in just some areas, just to give it some additional color. You don't have to do this part, this is optional, but I like to do the double layer of color here to make it look like my wall's just a little bit more interesting. You can even add the color shading into the wall in the background if you'd like. But I really like the look of the purple or another color as well as just the gray over the top. So you can see that these look completely different, but it's a similar style, and I hope you enjoyed creating these graffiti hearts with me. Until next time.